And now joining us via Zoom, via sport journalists, we have, I want another woman to come give us, join this conversation and give us another perspective. We've got Itoro Jimmy joining us via Zoom. Thank you, Itoro, for joining us on the show. You're welcome to AFCON Express on In the Game.
Thank you for having me on here. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. And we have been talking about that so much talked about game between Morocco, the host nation, and Cameroon. And a lot said Cameroon were shortchanged in this encounter against the host nation. Are we seeing the host being favored because they are the host? And there is this, maybe there is a particular ideology to take them through to this competition because this is what they lack on the continent. They lack continental dominance. How do you evaluate that game between Morocco and Cameroon yesterday?
You know, I was listening in before I came on, to join you, and I must agree with you. The Cameroon we saw against Morocco yesterday wasn't the Cameroon that played against the South Africans in the round of 16, because if there's something that the Moroccan coach did, it was to completely neutralize the Cameroonian team. Cameroon couldn't get the ball in the first 45 minutes. I mean, they were totally confused. They so ignorant, like they didn't know what they came to pitch to do. They were totally neutralized by the Moroccans, and I think that was, you know, beating them tactically. You know, when you take a look at the Cameroonians, they play more physically, just like Nigerians. But taking a look at Morocco yesterday, you would see that it was more of a mind game, not allowing Cameroon to execute the plan they came, you know, into the pitch to do. Made the Cameroonians confused, actually. So that was the first way to beat them. And I mean, the first 45 minutes, and they didn't have anything at all to prove. And the Moroccans were already, you know, a goal up. That is the best way to neutralize your opponent. Right, and they did a fantastic job with that.
All right, Itoro, what do you say about that foul against Brahim, which a lot should have considered to be a penalty? Penalty or not?
Well, taking a look at, I don't think so. I don't think so, because taking a look at the officiating so far, I know most persons are like, you know what, it should have been a penalty because, you know, there was a contact. But you can see that, you know, players are also quite, you know, they anticipate this move. And I think Buemo actually anticipated that as well. And I think it was already going down even before the contact. And I think the referee was right with that call. So I don't think it was a penalty on you.
Okay, Ibitayo, what do you think? A penalty or not?
No, I thought. I've seen it given, at the referee giving that penalty. Fine. But I've seen it not given too. And I mean, she spot on when she said he was definitely looking for it. There's nothing wrong. These professional footballers know this. I mean, he was falling, his leg was going the other way. He looked kind of awkward. That was an awkward way to fall.
Wow.
And so I understand why it wasn't given. And I understand why the Cameroonians are angry, because if this happened to Nigeria and we lost, I'll be angry too. But if I'm being honest, I understand why it's not given. And
okay. All right, let's hear from David Pagou, the coach of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, what he had to say when he was quizzed about how he feels about the response of the central referee to that foul against Brahim.
Thank you, Ben Collins, as I tell to your colleague, I've not watched the video, I'm not sure the image, so I can't say that penalty or not. So let me go see and I'll watch what happened exactly. But the match is finished, so we lost the match, and then it was a very difficult match. So let us go back at home and then rest and then continue to grow.
David Pagou trying to be political there, saying, I've not watched the match, so I can't make my judgment. What are the fans saying, especially for Cameroonian fans, after that ouster by the Cameroonian team? Yes, the Federation president already is weeping and he had to dry his tears and then motivate the players. We live to fight another day. But are the fans on that same page with Eto'o? Let's listen to the fans.
وبغيت نقول زعما حنا فخورين بزاف بهذا الملعب، فخورين ببلادنا وما خيبوناش، وبغينا نصيفطوا رساله للفرقه شكرا بزاف وديما مغرب ديما
exceptionnel. J'ai jamais été à un match auparavant. Et pour l'ouverture de mon premier match, c'était le Maroc contre le Cameroun, donc c'était incroyable. Et franchement, une des meilleures expériences de ma vie. Et je suis très très contente et très fière de mon pays, d'Imam Ghreb.
Le match a été difficile, on a affronté une équipe du Cameroun solide, on a réussi à gagner la bataille dans le milieu de terrain, même s'il y a une baisse de régime de notre part en deuxième mi-temps, on a réussi à gagner. Et alhamdoulilah, en demi-finale on va gagner aussi et on va gagner la coupe.
جيت انا وماما واجواء واعره، داكشي اللي داروا لي جوار ما كناش متوقعين منه صراحه، داروا اكثر من اللي كنا متوقعين، والكاس ان شاء الله تبقى في المغرب وديما المغرب.
شوف الجمهور هو رقم 12، الا ما كان الجمهور رقم 12 راه اللعب ما يعطيش، اللعب ما غادي يعطي الا ما كان الجمهور. خليني من هذوك اللي تيجري السيفيات، ما بين السيفيات بين دابا هكا طار النصف ان شاء الله حتى هو هكا كل فينا.
Moroccan fans really elated there. So far, this decision did not go out of their favor. They are fine with it. They are saying now that Morocco has reached the semi-final, there's every possibility, 100%, that the cup will stay in Morocco. Italo Jimmy, one man was the man of the match. Sarcastically, he was the man of the match in that encounter. He's a Mauritanian referee called Dahain Beida. He dominated post-match discussions at that Morocco's 2-0 thumping of Cameroon in the quarterfinal. Of course, the fans sarcastically, they named him man of the match. Well done, sir. You've done a good job. Now, let me tell you, Itaro, when the first referee was appointed by the Confederation of African Football, et al. stood and said, no, I do not want this referee. Confederation of African Football had to make changes, and they brought in a Mauritanian referee. Now, look at what the Mauritanian referee has done to him. At this time, he says he lost this game to the Mauritanian referee called Beida, who has become the man of the match, sarcastically, after that encounter. Bitayo.
Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Look, it's the game. The referees are neutral. They are professional. Or okay, they're supposed to be neutral.
I wanted to use that word.
I see the way you're looking at me.
Yes.
I said the referees, they're supposed to be neutral. But when you play, I mean, this is what everybody knows. When you play against host country, try and make sure you win the football, because you know those 50-50 calls wouldn't come.
Okay, let me shock you right now and bring to you previous fouls that have been overlooked by referees in this competition and has got Morocco as the constant. Let me begin with. Let me begin. I have to go dig deep and then show you and know if this is intentional or not. Now, I remember that Morocco was overlooked there in their previous fouls. This is the game against Tanzania. The game against Mali is what is showing right now, and that's what you see. Shouldn't that have been called, Bitaya? Morocco being the constant here, and now look at Brian Mbeumo, Morocco still being the constant.
If you take a microscope to find a team, take a microscope to every of their game and the officiating, you'll probably see areas where officiating has favored them too. But because of this single issue, we are taking a microscope to Morocco and then we're trying to...
That is what football does.
I understand.
We always bask on history, and this is history. There is a history to Morocco getting favor when they foul their opposing players, and those fouls are never called.
Had the Cameroonians been out of the block early and not wait till the second half to start playing their football, who knows how the game would have gone. If the initial referee appointed had remained, who knows how the game would have gone. But at the end of the day, ifs and buts don't play football. Like the coach rightfully said, he hasn't seen it, but irrespective if he sees it, how does it affect the game? They are out.
It affects the game because right now they're out. They're packing their bags back to Yaoundé, where they came from. All right, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking everything about that game, anticipated game between Nigeria and Algeria. Will Furnace strike a second time at the same place it happened in 2019? Will it happen in 2025? Oh no. Please stay tuned with us. Welcome back. You're still watching AFCON Express. Still got Ibitayo Daramola and Itoro Jimmy. Itoro, it seems I thought we lost you for a bit there, but it's great that you're still on standby. Now it's time to talk about Super Eagles against Algeria. The coach of the side says that they've got their mentally ready, tactically ready, prepared for this encounter. He was speaking during the pre-match press conference on Friday. He said his team has studied the desert forces, that they have their numbers right now. They have their code. They can press it anytime they want. And what they're gunning for is to secure victory. Itoro, do you think this is all vibes coming from Eric Schell? Or so far, what you've seen from Eric Schell, there's a possibility that he has the code and the number of the Algerian team.
Honestly, I love the mentality that Eric Schell has, ahead of this encounter, because, most Nigerians don't have that much confidence going into this game. When you look at our head-to-head against Algeria, it's not really fantastic. Meeting 6 times, we lost 3, 1, 2, and just a single draw. So I would say his mentality is quite, impressive going into this encounter. He might really have the, what it takes. Maybe he has the code like you're talking about. But we'll have to wait and see by 5 p.m. later on today. All
right, wait in and see if 5 p.m. Would bring the answers to our question. Moses Simon also made it to the press conference, the pre-match press conference, and he had said that they've squashed all that talks around the bonus, as we heard on the news from the National Sport Commission, saying that the Super Eagles have received their payment, and I'm hoping that can be a boost, an incentive, a boost for them to go into this competition. Earlier, we had heard that the captain said, I would offset the bill if the NFF do not turn up before this encounter today. But now that they have received their money, according to the news that the reports that we hear, do you think this is a good motivation? Everything is calm in the team, and we can see the Super Eagles go all out today, Itoro?
We don't have to always have this conversation, if I may be frank. Every worker deserves, his or her wages, and this shouldn't be used as some leveler of performance. They ought to not have this sort of distraction every time they go for an international tournament. This is not the first time this has happened. Should this be something that will give them a boost? I don't really know, because at the end of the day, I would say issues like this, makes one distracted. Honestly speaking, and lots of people are saying, oh, they shouldn't be having such conversations. Yes, but it still comes back to the handlers. This conversation is not purely based on the boys. It has to start, they have to have this conversation before they go into the tournament. Is it going to be a boost? Yes, because it's going to kind of like relax everybody in the camp mentally going forward. But should it have happened in the first place? I don't think so. And I think it's high time that this kind of conversation stop happening. It's really, really high time we have to stop having this kind of conversations.
All right, we know that even in the midst of conversations around this particular encounter, we know that Victor Osimhen and Lookman, they are in a bid for a place to test Luka Zidane. That man has not conceded so much in this competition, and we're not letting him go in this competition as the best goalkeeper of the tournament when we have the likes of Stanley Nwabali. For the fact that Rowan Williams is out of the conversation right now, it should go to Stanley Nwabali. You can see that he has conceded only 1.
In fact, he hasn't considered a goal.
Yeah, it's not considered a goal.
That game against Equatorial Guinea was the last game. He wasn't in goal for that.
He wasn't in goal for that, and that's the only thing that the likes of Algeria has conceded so far. Now, Luka has his father backing, has his father chanting from the stands, and he seemed to be in line, the only one in line, because Bono, will not say Bono is in contention right now, though he's on the list, Stanley Nwabali on the list, and we're hoping that they can go all out even to the end of the competition. Lookman, Osimhen, do you think they would test him today?
We keep leaving out one of the most important factors that has changed our attack.
Which one?
Keep leaving out is a very, very important factor. We've been looking for that striker, the third striker that can fit into that place. Now, the Moroccans, the Algerians have never faced this kind of attack. You have 3 potential goal scorers.
But there's a possibility that he tweaks it today. Remember that he's trying to arrest some of the players who have got who haven't caddied before. Doesn't want to see too much caution.
Unfortunately,
the midfielders especially.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't advise him to ring them in. Let them play the way.
Are you sure?
If they miss the semi-final, they miss the semi-final.
Do you also think the same?
If they miss the semi-final, you don't get to the semi-final. If you don't win the quarter-final, you don't get the semi-final. So what's the point of being cautious in the quarter-final?
Wow, he needs these players. They're very important. Itoro, come in here, please.
Honestly, I think I partially agree with him on this one, right? I think probably they should, start. Maybe they might not finish the game, but they should start there because, I mean, for me, I always agree. You start your winning team. There's this synergy that this, couple of players have, and facing an Algeria side that is very, very defensive-minded. I mean, if we want to take a look at it, Nigeria has scored the most goals getting to this point, and Algeria are the most defensive team, so far in this tournament. It's going to be very tight. So I think it's okay to start these players, but hopefully we can get, reasonable results in the first 45 minutes. Maybe give them an hour to play. Then you see the tempo of the game, and then you pull them out so that you can actually get the opportunity to use them in the semi-finals. But completely taking them out, going into this game, that would be disastrous. It would be a calamity. All
right, but I hear that tension rising right now concerning fans that will make it to the stands for this game between Nigeria and Algeria. We understand that logistical constraints is popping up in Marrakesh there, heading up to this encounter. Some fans are saying that the trains are fully booked. Even as at 3:44, that's the last train that would leave to Marrakesh. It is fully booked at the moment. We're seeing some cutting close to match day travel. The surge in supporters underline the magnitude of this fixture. This fixture between Nigeria and Algeria is one that nobody would want to miss. Even Moroccans will be heading up to that stands because whoever is playing against Algeria is a favorite for any Moroccan team. We were able to catch up. My colleague Udoka Njoku was able to catch up with one of the fan who said he doesn't understand why all the tickets should be sold out. He has not even bought. So you can see how this encounter is really, really, really a high-profile one. Itoro, what do you say?
Honestly, I'm not surprised that it is sold out. Nigeria is a team you want to watch play. And, fortunately, I've also seen, a lot of fans online supporting the Super Eagles. And they are Moroccans. I think they really love the Nigerian vibe and all. And they want to see the big boys, Osimhen and Lukman. Everybody is talking about them. All the fans are talking about them. So I'm not surprised that the tickets are sold out. So you can imagine if Nigeria were to play against Morocco. Are you sure Nigeria to even get an opportunity to go into the stadium?
I don't think so. It happened. It happened at the AFCON, Itoro. We did not see a place to sit at the AFCON. So if Nigeria will play Morocco in the semi-final, there'll be trouble. And I think the guys will really fight for it because the women were really cold about it. But let's quickly show you what the tally looks like for those who are leading the goal scorers list, because in this match we have more players leading the goal scorers list. Brahim Diaz, of course, the Moroccan, he leads with 5 goals, and he has made history with that 5. Yeah. Ademola Lookman is on 3, Victor Osimhen on 3. Can he make it 4? Can he make it 5? Today, same with Ademola Lookman. Riyad Mahrez, who is also an Algerian, here on 3. Is there a possibility that he scores today, being that this is his last AFCON, as he did announce? Mohamed Salah on 3. And Cote d'Ivoire and Egypt will be the final quarter-final match we expect today. Time you're at, friend Ibitayo, quickly tell us what you anticipate for Cote d'Ivoire against Egypt. Oh,
it's going to be tough. Really, really tough. The Egyptians are deceptive. I mean, they've not really played anything, but they keep moving forward. The Ivorians are very wary. Last time they met in the finals, the Egyptians went to penalty. The Egyptians won that. They know they are the defending champion. They have that swagger about them. The team is playing well, confidently. They won their round of 16. So it's going to be a tough game, but I think the Ivorians will be the favourites in this.
All right, we'll take you for your word. Thank you so much, Itoro Jimmy, for joining us in the conversation today. We really appreciate it. And we're wishing Nigeria all the best. I know that's what you wish them. Thank you, Bitayo Daramola, for coming up on the show today. We appreciate it.